What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stewart Team Home Live Market of the Moment. Yeah, I'm just checking. We're going live on Facebook and Instagram. So we're here for the Market of the Moment for April edition. I'm Austin Assad, your local realtor.
And I'm Sean Stewart. We're Stewart Team Homes.
Yeah, so, what we're going to do is give you a current market update where we're at and how that has progressed over the past year, just to give you guys a good idea as buyers and sellers where we're at in the market and where we can expect to go in the future. So let's jump right into things and talk about the inventory and where we're at with things.
Let's take into consideration, I want to just preface this before we jump into it. We're actually living now in 12 months of COVID. COVID-19, shutdowns started happening at the mid to end of March. And so, being in April, we're in our full year plus a month that we've been dealing with COVID, and we'll talk about how that has affected the real estate market.
Yeah. Let's jump right into the inventory. Sean's going to talk more about the data in terms of the amount of homes we have for sale, that's sold, newly listed, and the homes that are pending in the market right now.
Yeah, I love this this graph. This graph actually tells the whole story. We call this the LORE report. LORE standing for Language of Real Estate, and we pride ourselves on being the local market economists, hopefully of choice for our local real estate, your local real estate needs. The light green bar is the for sales. The dark green bar on the graph is the solds. You'll see the red line is pending and the blue line is new listing. So we're going to go back to 320 a year ago, and you'll see that we had almost 9,500 homes on the market available. So that's what the MLS had available for us, 9,500 homes. Today, 12 months later, just shy of 4,000. So we're at quite a deficit, the lowest inventory that I have seen in over 25 years of real estate. And it's not going to change anytime soon because of the demand. The demand is just so high. If you look at the red line, which is the pendings starting in December of 20, in January, in February, and March, you'll see the pendings are actually just above the blue line, which is the new listings. So we actually have more homes going under contract in each of those months than we have entering the market. So there's no way for us to increase that inventory when the buyers' demand is snatching up houses and faster than we can get them listed. So that trend is not going to change anytime soon. Because conversely, if you look back in May, June, July, all through the selling season, if you will, of 2020, the new listings, they outpaced the pending sales, so the homes that went under contract, and that's typical. That's typically what we see. Well, we've seen that a dramatic change here in 21, where houses are hitting the market and they're being taken off just as fast as we list them. We're seeing that the inventory is starting to grow, or I'm sorry, the pressure's on it. We're seeing that the solds are starting to grow to the point where we're right where we were year over year. So 45, 55 in regards to closed properties in 321 and 4519 in 320. So the real estate is still happening. We're still seeing the same amount of closings occur. We're just seeing the buyers have less to choose from.
Yeah, it's a good point. To touch on that, in the spring market, we traditionally see more homes come on the market because, after the winter months, we get the warmer weather. Homeowners, hey, I'm going to put my home on the market. and sellers and buyers. There's just more that enters the real estate market. And Sean was touching on this, the amount of new listings that are entering the market. It makes sense based on what season we're in, but the demand has at an extremely high point where the pendants are greater than the newly listeds. So what Sean was saying, that the activity is still there, but there's no change because the demand is extremely high.
Right. Yeah, just look at the year over year. If we're looking at the red line, the pendants were 4,700 a year ago, and now they're 6,200. So we have an extra 2,000 properties that went under contract when we're at 50% of the available, less than 50% of the available inventory. So, I mean, that right there, you got 2,000 more homes under contract and almost 5,000 less houses.
All right, going to the next topic, how the low inventory impacts the for sale price and the sold price. Sean, can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, typically you'll see that the graphs start to, the green line is what is for sale and the average price per given month. So 305 is the average price in the multiple listing service for sale for March of 21. March of 20, it was 255. So if you look at homes on average, pricing has gone up about 17 to 18% year over year. So that means 17 to 18% more equity that you have put into your home if you own your house. So what we're seeing, because of the supply and demand, realtors are pricing homes at market value, and buyers are driving the price up above market value because there's less inventory. So we're seeing multiple offers on properties. So we traditionally will see during the spring market that listings will start to go up in list price, the for sale, because we're just seeing more and more homes go on the market at higher prices, where sometimes sellers are testing the market, see what they can get for the house. Well, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. At least I honestly hope we see a lot more of that in 21, because there is a demand and the buyers are willing to pay a premium to get into a house today, coupled with the low interest rates that we still have. Austin's going to touch on this later. Still today, low interest rates gives the buyer more buying power and allows them to pay more for a house than it was worth just 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A little more in detail about this little trend up here, beginning in January of this year. This uptick is consistent year over year. We always see this from coming into the winter months, and then as we head to the spring months, this is common. But at this rate of how quickly it increased, it's not like what we've seen in the past.
No, quite honestly, I didn't look, but I'm going off of memory. I don't believe I've ever seen this graph over 300. It's so the for sales on average, I don't believe we've ever had a single month that was over that 300 mark. So I'm going to double check, but I believe that's a milestone.
Mm-hmm. And then, looking back at last year, the red bar, the solds, follow the for sales. So, you may ask, oh, what do you think about the prices? Well, it's just the sold prices. It's just going to follow the for sale prices.
Right.
So if the for sale prices are increasing, the sold follows, because it takes 30 to 45 days to close on a home. So that trend is just going to continue.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving to the next topic, in regards to how the for sale price and sold price, to be more accurate, how that affects your square footage. Sean, can you?
Yeah, this square footage is this number is one of those phenomenons where sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't, because it depends on really the what you have in the house. It's the upgrades that you may have in a house compared to a different one, where you may pay more per square foot than you would on average compared to a house that doesn't have the same upgrades in it. A ranch home is spread out over one floor, often will have a higher per square footage than a colonial where it's built straight up and down. But it's a great gauge for us to look at when we're looking at houses on how they compare to others that have similar size, similar amenities within the house. Are they selling at a price per square foot that is consistent with the neighborhood? So you can't bank on it and say, okay, well, I've got a 2,000 square foot home, so I'm going to multiply 2,000 times 114, and that's going to be my list price, or that's what I should pay for a house. Because quite honestly, we've seen them where we're writing offers and listing properties that are $150 to $175 per square foot, and some actually less than the 114. But this gives you an idea that it's actually, you follow that last graph, you're going to see this continue to go up, average price per square foot solds, as properties go under contract in the coming months.
Yeah. Basically, this graph right here basically reflects the last graph we just saw, telling you that, or describing that, the for sales or the sold prices are increasing, which affects the price per square foot numbers. Moving on to the next topic, the average days on the market in the sale price to list price ratio. Sean, where are we at with that?
Okay, so we're at $60 days, continuous days on the market from list to under contract, and this list price to sales price ratio is, let's just call it 100%. It's at 99, but we're seeing houses. You list the house for 200,000, it's going to sell for 200, if not a little bit more. There are homes that are selling for less, so that that brings the average to that 100. But we're seeing a lot of homes that have multiple offers on it, and Austin and I can speak of that just this past weekend, where we had two homes that we've listed go under contract with dozens of offers between the two of them, and we sold for over asking on both of them, and this is just it's something that you have to be aware of. You can't just stick any price on it, because it does have to appraise, and the appraisals, just like the listings we're listing high, and then the appraisals aren't catching up with the solds, because solds close 30 days to 45 days after they go under contract. So you go under contract right now on a house that you're paying premium dollar for that size of house or for the area, and we're having to deal with some appraisal issues, only because we haven't had enough closings to match and comp the house that we're putting under contract. But we're going to continue to see a pressure on the average continuous days on market. The 60 days, Austin, you can talk about a previous or recent conversation you've had with somebody thinking that, I had it, the same one. I had one of our sellers said, my house has been on the market for 2 weeks. What's wrong? It was literally 12 days on the market, but we're hearing the great stories. We're reading on Facebook, we're reading social media, and our friends are always telling the great stories about how a house sold in 24 hours. Well, this is reality. This is comes right from the multiple listing service, and the average days on market is 60 days. That's it.
Yeah, touching on that a little bit. Like Sean was saying, people are only bragging about the crazy stories, which they do happen.
Yeah.
The homes that are priced well, that show well with good pictures, and well desired homes and good locations, and when all the factors align, it creates those unique and crazy stories, where the house is only lasting 24 hours on the market and getting hundreds of showings and 25 offers. Those crazy stories You hear about those ones, but you don't hear about the seller down the street that had his home on the market. See, the average right here is 60. So it could be 100, because if you have the homes that are on the market for 2 days, there's scenarios where homes are on the market for 100 days. So that is still occurring in this market. And going off that as well, what I notice also is me as a buyer's agent helping out buyers, we kind of strategize around this, where if the home has been on the market for a week, that's telling us a week to 2 weeks. That's telling us that this home may be overpriced and there's not a lot of attention. So we may be able to strategize an offer where we don't need to go 10,000, 20, depending on the list price amount over. But also you have to keep in mind the days, there's more buyers that are entering the market every day, every week. So you may think you have a strategy in mind because the home's been on the market for 2 weeks, but there's also more buyers coming into the picture. So the home may have been on the market for 2 weeks, but you may still be in competitive offers, multiple offer situation, and you think you got something, some hidden gem that's out there that's been on the market for 3 weeks, but there's agents, there's buyers out there that are, picking up more buyers and kind of doing the same thing. So it's kind of two unique things that behind the scene.
Also behind the scenes, something that we don't talk about or that you're not going to see in the numbers. For example, the 2 properties that we put on the market this past weekend, they're going to show like they're 2, 3, 4 days on the market, because we got offers on them immediately, and we negotiated the offers and sold the houses for more than list price. What doesn't show in our graphs is what all the work that we did prior to that. So we've been working on these homes for a couple weeks prior to turning them open to the market. So the pictures, the professional pictures and the videos and the pre-marketing and the coming soon and the signage and, putting it all out there allowed us to be able to, benefit our sellers and get those homes sold quickly, which is more convenient for our sellers. They don't have to open their house up to, people for weeks on end and keep it clean. They only did it for a weekend. And we got the professional pictures and we marketed the property in a fashion that we were able to get nonstop showings. We had 52 showings in one weekend on one of the properties, and we had 10 offers on it. So, and that's because of the pre-work, not because it just magically entered the MLS on that Friday.
Mm-hmm. Good points. Okay, so then moving on to the next topic, the months of inventory based on closed sales. Sean's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the months of inventory based on closed sales. So, we got, you'll see a year ago it was 2.1 months of inventory, and now it's 0.9. So 0.9 months of inventory based on closed sales. So what that means is at the current rate that the buyers are absorbing the market or buying property on the market, we have inventory that would only last 0.9, less than a month. In less than a month, at the current rate the buyers are buying property, we would be at 0 inventory. So that's absorption rate, or the months of inventory that we have. And again, this is as low as I've ever seen it. And part of this is actually misleading, because we think this is extremely low, 0.9. Well, when a buyer's out there looking for a house, they're looking for a house to buy that they can see. Well, we've got closed sales at 0.9. If we add the pending sales, the houses that are soon to close, to this number, we're at 0.4. So we're at less than, we're basically at about 10 to 15 days of inventory on the market right now. If you're entering the market, make sure you're working with a realtor who's ready to go at the drop of a hat. Make sure that you are working with somebody who has you pre-approved and you can buy that day, and be ready to. You can't sleep on a house anymore. You know, today you've got to, if you like it, you're going to write on it. Same thing with sellers. You know, do your due diligence and realize what you can get for your home today, the equity that you can earn in this market. It might be worth looking into.
Yeah, good points. Next thing, the mortgage interest rates. So, inventory is extremely down, but you may have asked, why is the demand high? Once COVID hit, we've seen a decrease in the mortgage interest rates. I mean, they have been decreasing since the past 10 years, 20 years, but relatively it's been kind of exponential once COVID hit, which is, the government trying to keep the market going and make home buying more affordable. So going back to, economic supply and demand, the supply is extremely low. And on top of that, in a normal scenario, the demand would be high. But because interest rates are low, we got even, that demand is shot up even higher. So over the past year, the interest rates have been dropping, and it kind of plateaued and turned the opposite direction in January, late January. And this could be, a sign of, a government feeling that there's more, market recovery and,
Be careful with inflation.
Inflation and, going back to the normal, kind of going back to normalcy. And, a lot of people, ask me, oh, what do you think that where the market, the interest rates are going to head? And, we can't predict, but they're not, I don't see it going back down the 3% threshold for a 30-year conventional loan. But I don't see it staying in this range. It's, it started to increase, and I only can predict that it's going to continue to increase. And I think by, end of the year, we're at least the 3.5% range. Maybe see that by the time we get to summer, but that's kind of quick. But
yeah, but I agree. It's going to increase. Yeah, it's negligible. It's like 3.13 right now. So if it goes up to 3.2, 3.25, it's not going to make. It's going to be tens of dollars in somebody's mortgage payment on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Depending on what type of mortgage that you're bringing. If you're getting a very large mortgage, maybe it's a difference of $100 a month. It's not going to make very much difference in your buying decision.
Right. And I this is important also because people always ask, hey, is today a good time to buy? Hey, is based on what you think what's going to happen, the home prices are going to continue to increase. There's nothing in the near future that says otherwise. The pre-foreclosure and the amount of foreclosure, that date has been extended. So I think it was, I'm trying to remember the exact date it was. It was the middle of the year that, nationally, homeowners would, begin the pre-foreclosure process if they were defaulting on their payments. That has been extended to the end of the year, where there's a review period, and I think that's going to continue to, President Biden's going to help push things along, good or bad. If people are actually defaulting, that's beneficial to the homeowners out there. But that number, if they let the people that are defaulting, if they entered the market, then we would have a shift in the inventory. But because of that, the inventory is going to stay where it's at.
Right.
So then the other factor is the amount of construction in the new builds. There's going to be more, but can they keep up with this?
They can't build them fast enough.
Can't build them fast enough, and the new builds, the building material cost is double, triple. So yeah, okay, there's going to be new builds, but the prices are just going to be extremely high, and that's just going to add on to the overall market for sale and sold prices.
Yeah, the residential resale market is a great opportunity for both if you're selling and buying. New construction is great, but you're going to pay a premium because of the, incredible increase in costs for just the materials. And there aren't enough new construction homes available to go in and purchase something right now unless you wanted to custom build a house.
So to recap where we're at and summarize what we kind of just talked about, the inventory and the amount of homes for sale is still at an all-time low. Demand is actually on the rise. Even though we had a slight increase in the interest rates, those home buyers throughout all COVID that wanted to buy and didn't buy, almost all of them still want to buy. And as time progressed, you're going to have new home buyers entering the equation.
Yeah, you think about if you're renting right now and you're paying $1,200 in rent, you're throwing that money away. $1,200 is you could buy a lot of house for that. Yeah. On a monthly basis. So we are going to have more buyers that are entering the market when they realize, that renting is just actually delaying their wealth building opportunities.
Yeah. So demand is not going to change. It's only going to increase at this point in time. Home prices continue to rise. We touched on that a lot. Interest rates, they're on the rise, and we are continuing to be in this extreme seller's market. Very good if you're a homeowner and you're even thinking about selling. You got like 1% in your mind, like, hey, I want to test the market. Yeah, it's the perfect market to enter if you're a current homeowner, and put your home on the market and work with a good agent.
Yeah, give us a call. We'll tell you what it's worth.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to sell, you don't sell. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I think it's definitely worth looking into.
Yeah. Even if you want to start that conversation, So whether that's today and you learn more about what the market we're in, or a year from now, you will be prepared and ready to make that decision when that time comes and you're ready to get your home sold. So yeah, that's all we have today for the April market of the moment. Like I said, I'm Austin Assad, the local realtor with Keller Williams and Stewart Team Homes.
And I'm Sean Stewart with Stewart Team Homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so be sure to like, share, comment. If you're thinking about buying or selling, give us a call. Shoot us a DM through one of the social media platforms. If you know anyone else that may be thinking about buying or selling, we'd be more than happy to help them out as well. Like I like to say, not all real estate agents are created equal, so why not partner and team up with the best?
That's right.
All right. Have a good rest of your day and win the day.
All right. Good night.